It is morning in Los Angeles and it is morning in America. I am your host, KC Phoenix, and today is Friday, October the 2nd, and this is the Morning Political Thought. All right, let's get the social media stuff and side news stories out the way first. Social media stuff, thepurpleelephantshow.com, main podcasting platform. You can go there, listen to all of the podcasting episodes. You can listen to the Purple Elephant Show episodes, and you can listen to the supplement to the Purple Elephant Show, which is, of course, these, My Daily Thoughts. All of those are at thepurpleelephantshow.com. If you want to follow on any of the social media platforms, Parler, The Purple Elephant Show, I had to think for a second. Instagram, The Purple Elephant Show. Facebook.com/The Purple Elephant Show. Twitter, @RealTPES. And YouTube, BitChute, Dailymotion. If you are watching, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. That way you will know when I upload new episodes. All right. Side news stories. The White House is expecting an October surprise in regards to Amy Coney Barrett. Mark Meadows is saying that he wouldn't be surprised if there isn't something that comes out about Amy Coney Barrett around the second or the third week of October. So the White House, they're sort of bracing for it. That's what they're waiting to see. But Mark Meadows, who is the White House Chief of Staff, too, and also former representative from North Carolina, he said it is more than likely to happen the second or third week of October. So the White House is bracing for an October surprise as related to Amy Coney Barrett. Now, this second side news story confuses me a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys what it is. All right. There was a 2020 National Defense Authorization Act, and it directs the Marines to implement gender integrated training is what it directs the Marines to do. And it's regarded at their recruit depots at Paris Island and also at the West Coast training for the Marines. So I'm going to read that again because it was a little sloppy the first time I did it. So based off of the 2020 National Defense Authorization Act, it directs the Marines to implement gender integrated training at the recruit depots at Paris Island, which Paris Island is South Carolina area, which is my old stomping ground. Actually, I'm originally from the Carolinas. And then they have a West Coast training area as well. It says that they want to set the integrated training for Paris Island within 5 years, and then the other location on the West Coast in San Diego within 8 years. So they're working on doing that now. The story that I was reading, they were saying that it's a possibility that Paris Island may have to close down, or the training camp may have to close down, but it doesn't make sense to me. So if somebody, whoever's watching this, listening to this, if you want to send me something on social media to help me better understand it, because I don't get it. If all it takes is to integrate things, that shouldn't be too hard of a task. But they're saying Paris Island could still close because they may not be able to do it within the 5 years they're required. The article wasn't making sense. And maybe it's because I was reading it very quickly and I didn't take time to fully digest the information. But based off of this, and it's weird that this is something that was 2020 and President Trump didn't say anything about this, but whatever. It was basically to end the separate male and female recruit training, which that doesn't seem hard to do. But I'm not against males and females training separately anyway. That's just me. It's like, it's either one or the other. I'm indifferent. If the females want to train with the females, let them. If they want to train with the males, let them. I personally, I don't care, as long as they train and they are prepared should something arise where we need our military. I'm indifferent. So you guys can give your thoughts on that. All right, next side news story. No more than 15,000 refugees in fiscal year of 2021. So the White House, President Trump's administration has lowered the amount of refugees that we take in. And for the fiscal year of 2021, he's lowered it to 15,000. Before that, it was 18,000 was the cap then. During the previous administration, the cap going into 2016 was 110,000 is what it was. But then the Trump administration changed that and continued to lower it every single year. And now it's 15,000 for fiscal 2021, which is the lowest level ever that we're actually accepting refugees in. Part of the reason that the administration is saying it's that low is because of the current pandemic. But honestly, I mean, I'm unbiased and I'm direct. That's just an excuse, in my opinion. And I mean, that's fine. Because I feel there are a lot of other countries in the world. Yes, the United States is an amazing country, and anybody who lives in the United States would be lucky to live here, and anybody born in the United States hit the jackpot. However, there are other countries in the world that are stable, resilient, safe to live in countries that can take in asylum seekers. So I'm not disturbed if the United States accepts less asylum seekers and they go to a different country, whether it be Canada, whether it be France, France is having a lot of issues with their situation, but you know what I mean. So it's not a huge deal to me personally. I feel like there should be other choices besides the United States. I don't think the United States should be the knee-jerk reaction for where this is where everybody should come to. That's just my personal opinion. All right. Another side news story. More adults plan on taking the flu shot this year. According to a survey, 59% plan on taking the flu shot. And this was a survey. 59% plan on taking the flu shot this year. And as for last year, 48% of the people got the shot during flu season. So if the survey holds correct, 59% will get the shot this year, which that is an 11% increase. All right. Another side news story. The Long Island Diocese files for bankruptcy. That is the fourth diocese in New York to file for bankruptcy. And the reason that this is happening is because the authorities have extended the statute of limitations when it comes to abuse. And as for the abuse, you know what abuse I'm talking about. I prefer not to say it. And then, for the final side news story, people are doing Schoolcations now. What parents are doing is, because of the virtual learning, because kids don't have to be in school, in the classroom, they are taking their kids, they're renting RVs or buying RVs, or they're staying at resorts or going off somewhere doing whatever. They're taking Schoolcations, and on the Schoolcation, the kids get to enjoy themselves and have fun, but also still take their classes because it's virtual. As long as they have an internet connection, it's all good. Honestly, I'm totally cool with this because I always feel you learn more when you experience the world. So if the parents want to take their kids and say, hey, let's go out, let's get away from this for a while, you can still do your schoolwork and everything else, that's fine. Even when kids are in school, I'm fine if the parents are like, hey, I'm taking my kid out of school for a month. We want to go see the country. Give us all of the homework assignments that you plan on administering to the kids. We'll make sure it's done. We'll send it to you by email and do everything we need to do to make sure that my child doesn't fall behind. I'm totally fine with situations like that because I feel people learn more when they experience the world and experience a life versus being trapped inside of a classroom reading a book. It's almost like, I mentioned this before, I'm pretty sure, with Dan Pena, when he was talking about, and he's a motivational guy and a business guy. He had said, do I want someone who has studied 700 deals or do I want someone who has done 700 deals? And that's the thing. When you're studying in class, yeah, that's great. It's great to study some of these countries. But if your parents have the resources to take you to some of the countries that you read about, that's even better. So I totally endorse that. And those are the side news stories. Now, I have to take a swig of water here because my mouth is a little bit dry. Okay. Now, I'm sure everyone has heard the news about President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump. Honestly, I'm not that worried. I'm really not. He did an interview on Hannity last night. He sounded fine. He was just talking to Sean Hannity. He sounded fine. Also, Rand Paul had tested positive. Kimberly Guilfoyle, Don Jr.'s girlfriend, I guess you could call her, tested positive. Louis Gohmert from Texas, which I haven't seen him lately, but he tested positive. And when he did an interview right after he tested positive. He seemed fine. So I don't foresee this being a huge issue. Also, I hate to break this to people. He's the president of the United States. He has access to all types of things that we can only dream about. But because this will become political, this is just my suggestion. This is my suggestion. You heard it here first. Because this will become political, if I were President Trump, I'd take HCQ. And then, once he's feeling better, he can say, I tested positive and I took HCQ. It worked wonders. And wait and see what the media says. Wait, let's see how they spin that. That would be interesting. I would love, because he took it before, which it was more of a prophylactic for protectionary measures, just to test it out. And he took it for about a week or so. But now that he's tested positive, I would go ahead and talk to the doctor and say, hey, can I go ahead and take HCQ again now? And if the doctor gives the okay, like, hey, go for it. And then he comes back and everything's fine. And then he gets on the news and takes questions from the press because, they're going to ask him, Mr. President, you tested positive, all this, because you know what they do. And then he's going to say, yeah, I did, but I'm feeling much better now. It's all thanks to HCQ. Woo! You talk about dropping a bomb in the media news cycle, and also for the pharmaceutical companies that want to make money off of these so-called vaccines and everything else. That would be glorious. It would be lovely. Now, during the interim, obviously, he has to quarantine and do other stuff. And that affects the debate. So, I kind of don't want to see the debate now. I don't want to see a Zoom call or virtual debate. For one reason, they can mute him. That's one reason. They can mute him. If President Trump is on stage, even if they tried to mute his mic, he'd do something. So, but if it was virtual, they could mute him and there wouldn't be anything that he could do unless he did something crazy, like he was tweeting or having someone tweet while he was muted, or something like or something like that. But as for the debates, I kind of don't want to see them now. And also, this will be an excuse for the future, even if and when, I'll just say when, because like I said, I don't see anything bad with this. Even when President Trump comes out of this and it's time to do another debate, Joe Biden will probably say, well, I don't know, even though he's out of the woods on this and everything's fine, I don't feel comfortable. So, I mean, they kind of have their excuse now. So I think the debate that we had seen was the first and final debate. That's what it seems like. I would love to see another debate or two, but based off of this, I don't see it happening. And if it does, it'll be amazing. So yeah, but I'm not worried about it. Obviously, Hope Hicks tested positive, and which is the communications director. But I'm really not too worried. And not to go too deep into things, I've already told people who follow the show, who have followed all of my episodes, who have listened or watched, they know I'm intuitive. I have premonitions. I have premonitions about things. I had a premonition about Ruth Bader Ginsburg before she died. It wasn't that she would die. 3 days before she died, I had a premonition that she wouldn't be on the court by the time the election came. But like I said, I didn't know she was going to die. I just knew she wasn't going to be on the court. I had a premonition about the election, which that I did upload, and you can check out the episode, my 2020 premonition on the election. So, and I'm not picking anything up. And I'll tell you a quick little story. Back a long time ago, my grandmother, my mother's mother, she got really, really sick. She got some type of disease, and I keep on forgetting the name of it. I told my doctor what the symptoms were, and then my doctor rattled off the name like in 2 seconds. And then I was like, wow, how did you know that? And then I was thinking, I was like, okay, you idiot, you're talking to a doctor. Of course they'll know what it is. But my grandmother had this disease, and she was really sick. And everyone was running around like a chicken with their heads cut off. But for me, I wasn't, because my premonition was that this wasn't it. She's going to live longer than that. And she did. That was the thing. Where everybody was thinking like, oh, she's about to pass away, oh, this and that. She didn't. She lived almost 10 years longer than people expected. And that's why I wasn't worried about it then with my grandmother. And, you know, she's passed away now because she was older. She was almost 90. And I miss her. She was an amazing lady. And her birthday's day before mine, so we were close. But with President Trump, when I tell you I would be seriously shocked if something went the wrong way with this, I would be shocked. And not only would I be shocked, I would be heartbroken, because this is probably the only president in my lifetime that I actually can say there is a strong emotional attachment to, even though I don't know him personally. And that is rare, when you have an emotional attachment to someone that you don't know personally. And if it went the wrong way, which I seriously doubt it will, I seriously doubt it will. if it did, I would be heartbroken and shocked. I really would. So, that's my thoughts on that. But I'm not worried. President Trump is a workhorse. He's healthy as a horse. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me where they're saying, sir, you have to quarantine. No, I want to do a rally. Sir, you have to quarantine. That it wouldn't surprise me because I know he's the type that doesn't like to sit still. He likes to work. Sitting still is one of the worst things for him. It drives him crazy. So I have a feeling everything will work out fine. As I say, I'm not Amadeus or anything like that. I'm right more times than not. But I'm not worried. I'm really not. And I really hope he takes HCQ. I hope he takes HCQ. Anyways, that's all I have. ThePurpleElephantShow.com. Thank you everyone for supporting, watching, liking, subscribing, and everything else. I really appreciate it. This weekend, I will upload at least 2 episodes for The Purple Elephant Show. Thank you again for all your support. Until next time, be blessed.